Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is the first time that you are joining me. I am going to do a walkthrough of the Wise Dog Tarot by M.J Cullinane. This isn't a first flip through for me. I filmed this video yesterday and for some reason my phone, which I film on, went into total meltdown and it completely broke the iPhone. I had to reset everything. I had to delete the video. I had to reset my whole iPhone. It was a mess. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it doesn't break my phone today, and we'll see how we go. But obviously I've already seen all the cards in this deck because I've already done the walkthrough once. So this is just going to be a very quick look at the cards. So I backed this deck on Indiegogo in September last year, and it was originally due to be released in February this year, but it got delayed and it got delayed and it got delayed, and eventually I got it last Saturday. So I've had this deck about a week. I've only ordered off Indiegogo twice, and the first time I ordered off Indiegogo I had a really smooth, really simple transaction. The updates were really good. The deck was sent out when it was supposed to. I didn't get custom charges, which was incredible. It was just a really smooth process. This time it's been a little less smooth. Once the deck got delayed from February onwards, I don't always feel that the level of updates were particularly great. It wasn't ever really clear what was going on, or when the deck would be ready, or what was taking the time. I don't think there was enough communication. However, having said that, I did reach out to the artist when the decks were ready with an issue, and on a one-to-one level I cannot fault her. She was fantastic. She responded to me really, really quickly. The deck went in the post the same day. And that was a really, really smooth process. So on a one-to-one sales level, cannot fault her at all. It's just some niggly patience issues and wanting more information issues in the run-up to the deck actually being sent, between when it was due and when it actually came out. But overall, not a horrendous experience. So the deck's in this lovely 2-part box, which has got all the different dogs on it. And it says up here, first edition by M.J Cullinane, printed in China. And then on the back, we've got, thank you, your support helped create the Wise Dog, signed by the artist, and then limited edition first printing. The box it looks a little banged up at the top. I don't actually know if you can see that. No, I don't think it is banged up. I don't think there was any problem with the way it was shipped. It was wrapped in 2 different bags, so it was really well shipped and really well protected. I think it's just that the box has obviously it's a normal box. The picture isn't printed on it. It's printed on something else and then stuck around the box. And I think it's just where it's been stuck around the box. And it really isn't an issue. It's just, I'm just mentioning it because I don't know if you can see it on the video. Let's have a look. So we've got the little white book, which is a little white book. And inside we've got the list of all the different dogs. So one of the things that you could pay extra for, was to have one of the cards feature your dog. Now I didn't pay for that. That was a lot of money. And I love my dog, but I wasn't that bothered about him being on a tarot card, I have to be honest. So these are all the dogs that were included in the deck. And then you just get a brief description of each of the cards. And not a description of the cards, but a description of the meaning of the card. It's really glossy, so I'm sorry about the shiny light. And the minors are the same, except for each suit you get keywords for the suit before you get the meaning description for each of the cards within the suit. And then right at the back, you have a basic symbolism guide. So it gives you some of the symbols that can be found in the cards and their meanings as far as how the artist is interpreting them. So, for example, horses, charging forward, passionate energy, poppies, strength and perseverance. So it just gives you an insight into her choices for each of the cards. The cardstock is really nice. It is actually really nice. I have no idea about GSM and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I wonder if that's the kind of thing that they could put on the box for, you know, people who are interested in that kind of thing, but I wouldn't know the difference. But they're pretty thick. They feel lovely. They feel like really smooth. Really, really nice. The backs are beautiful. Oh, throwing things on the floor. And reversible. And just, I love those dogs. So if you've watched my channel for more than 5 minutes, you'll probably have seen my dog, my Logan, my little Yorkshire Terrier. It's probably not a huge surprise that dogs are my life. I love them. I'm a massive dog person. I have wanted a dog deck in my collection for a while. And I put off, there was a mass market one that also came out last year, and I cannot remember what it's called. And I put off buying that because I didn't necessarily want 2 dog decks in my collection. And I went with this one instead. And having done a walkthrough of this deck already, I love this deck, but there are some cards that really gel well with the meaning of the card. So the Rider-Waite-Smith system has really been considered when creating a card. And there are other cards where it's just a pretty picture of a dog. And I'm not sure it's a deck that I will ever be able to actually comfortably read with. So I'm not sure that it's the dog deck that I was looking for, but I'm certainly happy to have it in my collection. So let's just go through the dogs and have a quick run through of the cards. I'm not going to talk too much, or I'm going to try not to talk too much and let you just take in the beauty of the images. My grandmother had one of these. I can never remember what they are. I think they're a border collie, but I call them Lassie dogs from the programme Lassie. That dog was evil. It was evil. It hated everybody. The only person it liked was my granddad. And I remember being sitting on my grandmother's dining table with this dog, me and my brother sitting on the dining table, calling for my dad to come and rescue us from this dog because it was just growling and barking every time we tried to get down. He was just mean. It wouldn't have rescued you out from a well. It would have pushed you in the bloody well, that's for sure. Dobermans. I love Dobermans. I had a friend who had a Doberman Rottweiler cross, and it was just the most affectionate dog. It used to come bounding across the grass to you, and you'd see this big, slobbery, aggressive-looking dog running towards you, and you'd think, oh my God, I'm going to die. And she'd throw herself up and wrap her paws around you and give you a cuddle. She was so cute. Some of the cards I really like, and then some, like I say, I really have issues with. Like, I love Huskies. A very good ex-friend of mine now, but used to have 2 Huskies, and they were beautiful dogs, really good temperaments, really good fun. I love them, and I'm quite happy to see Huskies in the deck, but I'm just not sure how this card relates to Chariot. I just don't see it personally. So I do have some concerns about some of the images, but then this one, the Strength image, I love it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And the Hermit image, the same. I love this Hermit. I think this is the card This was the first card that I saw that made me go, yeah, I really, really need to have this deck. I need to buy this deck and I need to own this deck. Yeah, poor little French bulldog with his cone. The death card is so adorable. It's so sweet. I love the little butterfly on the dog's nose. And this card just makes me, it just makes me howl. It's just perfect. I mean, I love Chihuahuas. I looked after a Chihuahua for friends for a week when they went away. And they are actually really lovely little dogs, but they can be devil dogs. They really can be devil dogs, but they're just so cute. This is one of my favourite cards too. The Hermit and the Moon, I think, are the two cards that really pushed me over the edge with, I need this deck in my life. I love this Moon card. So that's the majors. Then we go into the minors, starting with the ones. So the same with the minors. Some of them are really, really Rider-Waite-Smith. Like this one, I love this one for the Four of Wands. And some of them I'm a bit like, okay, it's just a picture of a dog, which is lovely. I love dogs. I'm quite happy to see pictures of dogs, but like this one, Five of Wands, it is literally just 5 dogs. There's no sense of conflict there. There's no sense of like mock battle or fighting for what you know, for what you believe in, or any of the kind of normal things that you would expect to see in a Five of Wands. It's just 5 dogs. 5 beautiful dogs, but it's still just 5 dogs. This is a great card for the Eight of Wands though. So I'm really conflicted in that respect about this deck, because some of the cards, sorry, excuse me, easily distracted by doggos. Some of them I really love, and I really think, yeah, you've done such a good job. You've clearly thought about the imagery and, you know, really put some time into that. And other ones I think, you just drew a picture of a dog. Like, I love dogs. I'm happy to own a set of pictures of dogs, but I want it to be functional too. And I think she did a much better job actually with the Crow Tarot. Every card in the Crow Tarot is a tarot card, you know? Every single one, in my opinion, is a tarot card. It's not just, there are no cards in that deck that's just a picture of a crow. Every single one works as a tarot card and does what it's supposed to do. And I just don't get the same feel from this deck. And I don't know if she just lost her way with it towards the end, because it felt like she'd started the new one that she's working on, the Grimlocken or whatever it's called, the cat one. It felt like she started that one before she finished this one, and like, or very quickly after she finished this one, before this one was even like ready to go. So it does feel a little bit like she'd kind of lost interest in this and was very quickly ready to move on to another project and just wanted this out the house and off the table kind of thing. I don't know. I love it, but I'm frustrated with it at the same time. you know when you build a deck up in your head, you build it up and you build it up and you build it up and you think, this is the one, this is the deck that I've been waiting for, this is the dog deck that I was meant to have in my collection. And then it comes and you're kind of like, oh, okay, it's, you know, it's nice. Her art style is wonderful and I really, really love the art, but as a fully functional tarot deck, I'm not sure I'm feeling it. Then we're into the swords, which is the most important suit in the deck, in my opinion. You have to do the swords well, otherwise it can be a make or break thing for me. And I'm not too fussed with the swords. I think she's done a pretty good job with the swords, actually. One I'm not so keen on and I don't really get is this one. So I look at it, and when I look at it for long enough, I can kind of see where she was trying to go with this, but it doesn't evoke the heartache and the pain and the mental anguish that I want to see in the Three of Swords. Not because I'm, you know, a bit of a masochist or anything, but just because I think those are the things that the Three of Swords should evoke. That's what the Three of Swords is about. And I don't get that from this card. So I kind of get what she was trying to do, but for me, it didn't pay off. This card is perfect. Absolutely perfect. This, again, the Eight of Swords, I'm really fussy about my Eight of Swords. And Three of Swords, Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords, and Queen of Swords. And they're the four particular ones in that suit that I'm pretty fussy about. And I don't love this Eight of Swords. There is nothing in this Eight of Swords that gives me that feeling of being trapped. The dog looks like he's just having a kip. Like, he's really chilled out. If my dog was lying like this, he pretty much is lying like this now, except he doesn't have a bird on his head, but he's, you know, he's pretty much lying like this now, and he's not in any way distressed or trapped or uncomfortable. He is pretty chilled out right now and doesn't really want to move. So this for me doesn't evoke what I want to see in an Eight of Swords. Nine of Swords, perfect, love it. This card, I just can't. This for me is the worst and the best card in the deck. Because every time I see this card, it absolutely wrenches my heart, wrenches it. It's like palpable feelings of emotion from this card. The first time I actually looked at this card, I cried. I actually cried. The tear in the dog, it's just too much. It's just too much for me. And in that respect, I find it very, very difficult, but I think that she has done a phenomenal job of evoking emotion in this card more than in any other in the entire deck. But my God, it breaks my heart, this one. Absolutely breaks my heart. And this is beautiful up here. This is, you know, the whole rescue dog thing, but all I can see is this poor little puppy who's crying. I can't bear it. I just can't bear it. And the Queen of Swords, I'm a bit, yeah, all right, about. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it either. So So finally, the aces. I don't think my other video was this long. There we go. The aces, the pentacles. Oh my God. I'm still waking up a little bit. So again here, the Five of Pentacles is not a happy card. It's not a happy card. When you get the Five of Pentacles, it's not supposed to evoke fun and, you know, playfulness and like a happy experience. But this card really does. Like when I look at this card, you've got the animal shelter thing up here, but these dogs are pretty bloody happy. You know, their tongues are hanging out, their ears are not back or anything. You can't see their tails, so I don't know what the tails are doing, but they're not exposing their teeth. I mean, these are dogs that are pretty chilled out and having a pretty good time, and that's not what you necessarily want to see in a Five of Pentacles. So as much as I love to see happy dogs, and obviously sad dogs evoke a ridiculous amount of emotion in me, even drawings of them, I do want to bear in mind, I did want her to bear in mind that this is also a tarot deck and that the cards have specific meanings and emotions that they should be evoking, I guess. I'm not sure I get work card from this either. I love this card, but it's very, like, it took me a little while to think, wait, is this the Eight of Wands again? Have I got two Eight of Wands? Because it's got these, like, sticks. I was a bit confused by this card, but I love this one. And this one. And then here we have the Yorkshire Terrier of the deck. I was very pleased to see a Yorkshire Terrier in this deck. He doesn't look like my Yorkshire Terrier. He's obviously a lot older than mine. Mine is not this old. He's not a baby. He's like 5 in November, but he's still a baby to me. Now, when I was going through this deck, I was trying to work out whether she had made specific decisions about which dog she would include in which card based on the dog. I would have to personally say that she hasn't. That would be my personal impression based on this card, because being a Yorkshire Terrier owner and knowing a lot about Yorkshire Terriers, because when you own a particular breed, you kind of have to do your research and you have to know your stuff. So knowing as much as I do about Yorkshire Terriers, there is nothing about a Yorkshire Terrier's temperament that would suggest to me Page of Pentacles. If I was going to put a Yorkshire Terrier anywhere, it would be Wands. They would be Page of Wands maybe, or maybe even Knight of Swords, because they do have that tendency to rush into battle without, you know what I mean? Like they always want to be the top dog. They always want to be the biggest dog in the park. And they'll, you know, if there's a dog that's bigger than them, they're like, I'll fight you or I'll have you. I may be small, but, you know, you're in my space and I'm going to win, kind of thing. They love to jump into battle without really thinking it through. So there's nothing about the temperament of my Yorkshire Terrier or Yorkshire Terriers in general that to me suggests Page of Pentacles. So I think that's a bit of a shame. And maybe I'm just expecting too much from the artist, but I think it would have been nice if there'd been some consideration, and maybe there was, and we just have a very different opinion of where a Yorkshire Terrier would fit and a Yorkshire Terrier's temperament, but it doesn't feel like it to me based off the back of this card. Anyway. Nearly done. This is the longest walkthrough I think I've done in a very long time. I love that the Queen of Pentacles is a King Charles Spaniel. It amuses me for my own reason. Just because I'm silly like that. But yeah, the Queen of Pentacles is a King Charles Spaniel. Love it. So there you go. And now I am actually very pleased that I have the deck. I'm very happy that I backed it. I'm very happy that I have it in my collection. I have niggles, personal niggles about the deck, but they are personal niggles. And overall, the artwork is fantastic. The deck is beautiful. I cannot knock that at all. It's just that I have my own personal niggles about some of the things around the deck. I don't know. I genuinely don't know if I will use it at this point as a tarot deck, or it will be something that I keep as a collector's item. And I think that my search for the perfect dog deck is still going to be ongoing for a little while longer. But there you have it. That is the Wise Dog Tarot. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, take care everyone and lots of love. Bye bye.